Hello guys, welcome back onto the Dutch Couch. I want to have a chat about Frank Lampard. Absolutely brilliant job. I think it's in the facts. The facts speak for themselves. He's doing it at Coventry. I'm sure they're Premier League bound. When he took over in November 24, I think they were sitting 17th in the Championship, struggling. Mark Robbins has gone, right? He's took over them. He's got them into the playoffs, first and foremost. They've finished 5th. Mammoth job. Jumped 12 places since taking over. I actually think they were unlucky to go out to Sunderland in the semi-finals of the playoffs there. And you can only see the difference in Sunderland now, what they're achieving. This season they're currently sitting 15 games. They've one defeat at Wrexham. I watched it a few weeks ago. That wasn't a good night, wasn't a good performance. What's striking about their league position is the goal difference. I'm looking at Stoke in third, plus 11. That's the second highest goal difference in the Championship, right? Coventry, plus 27 goal difference. Now that tells you, I'm not a stats padder, but that tells you everything about this team. How exciting they are, how attacking they are, how clinical they are under this manager. There's so much self-belief in that team. He has absolutely galvanised the team and the club in general, in my opinion. The job he's doing there cannot be underestimated. He's had his last couple of the jobs, and I personally think he became a little bit of I wouldn't say a laughing stock, but a lot of people doubted his ability to coach at a good level. He's shut so many people up. I think it's a pleasure to watch, actually. I love seeing people prove people wrong. As brilliant as all that is, stats-wise, and the results and the goal difference, I think he's just changed the face of I looked at an interview, by a journalist there. I think he said something like, "The effect you've had on this team is like something I've never seen." That says it all. That speaks volumes. And I think Lampard himself was actually a little bit emotional in that interview when he was listening to that. I think it sort of hit home, though he sees it on the stands every week after the games when the fans are really showing their appreciation and love for him. I think when someone's interviewing, I think it's different than a match day. It really hits home when the emotions aren't quite the same as a match day, and you can really take them sort of things in. It looked like he really, really did appreciate those comments. But he's taken a team, in my opinion, who were struggling, absolutely rebuilt them. I don't think the turnover of players has been massive, but I think the difference in every single aspect has been different. I'm looking in possession. They're possession based, right? So they're controlling games. If you control the game, the opposition have got less chance of hurting you, right? He's very clever with this. They are controlling games in possession, right? I'm looking out of possession. I think they're fantastic. Out of possession, they're so compact. But what they use very cleverly, in my opinion, is the pace in the side. Because in transition, on the break, they are rapid. They're using the squad of players is absolutely getting the best out of every player in that team to suit the system, to suit the style of play and the philosophy. And it's just working. He's getting everything bang on. They're utilising that pace brilliantly. Every time I watch them go forward, I think they're going to score. That's the sign of an exciting team. And clinical. I think that word's underused with this lot. They are so clinical. They create so much. But they've scored 40 goals in 15 league games. That's incredible. Incredible. I mean, at Everton, when he was at Everton, his team were accused of being poorly coached, right? This team, for me, is the total opposite. They look so well coached, well drilled, well-oiled machine. Every player is giving 100%. Nobody's letting anyone else do their running for them. They are just an absolutely tight-knit group with a massive bond. It looks like the bond is unreal there. And that comes down to the manager for me. Lampard has instilled an absolute teamwork mentality. Fight and die for each other. Hunger, fight, desire, spirit. Everything you see in this Coventry team, that comes from the mentality of Frank Lampard. It really does. The balance in the side looks spot on. The balance is perfect for me. It just looks so, everything just seems so right. I know they're going to go through, you're going to have little spells in the season. I watched the Wrexham game, and I did watch that game. I've watched a lot of Coventry games, but that game I did think they looked a little bit disjointed, and I think Wrexham were the better side on the night. Coventry weren't themselves on the night, but you're going to get that. Listen, that 15 games, to have one of those games like that, I don't think that's bad from a team who was sitting 17th last season. Unbelievable job. I love the way he's developing young players. And anyone who watches my channel knows one of my biggest loves in football. That's part of the reason why I love Ajax Amsterdam and I support them, because I love the way clubs and coaches develop young players. That's what I fell in love with early on with Ajax. The youth system, obviously Johan Cruyff was my hero there, but the way young players are nurtured, developed and built into a team. The only thing I would worry about in the future, if this team does go on and wins the league or get promoted, are a few going to get picked off by bigger clubs. But that's natural, that always happens. But Sunderland, I don't think, have done a bad job this summer. They show if you recruit well, you can do well. I've got no doubts this club can go into the Premier League and sustain itself and be good there. I really hope so. I love the way he's developing the young players. I really do. I looked at something this Jack Rudoni said about him. I think he said, "There's no one better I can be coached by. He works with me a lot one-on-one. So the amount of knowledge that he must be gaining from Frank Lampard on a one-to-one basis must be off the scale. And it's obviously helping his game. He's developing really well. He's having a great season again. But the team look like they are what's vital for me. Any team that's successful for me, they look like a family. And I'll tell you what, on the pitch, this is what I love as well. I'm a big fan of street footballers. But when I watch this team, they look like a group of mates playing in the park without any fear or pressure. I think that's very important. If you're playing under pressure, sometimes you don't get the results in terms of performance, not only results as in score lines, but the performance. They look so free, so they can express themselves, which I think is very important in a team. These lads are doing it. They've got quite a few young players there. They've got a good mix, I think, of youth and experience there, which I think is standing them in good stead. But the young players under this manager and his coaching staff, I think they're absolutely thriving. Long may it continue. But this has been formed. The bond I see not only between the players and the manager, I see it extended between those and the supporters, which I think is equally as important. When you've got a fan base, and this fan base is one of them that's been through a lot of instability, a lot of turmoil with their club over the last couple of decades at least, right? When you see the supporters, the players, the coaching staff looking like they all belong there, like they all have respect for each other, like the vibe is great, I think you can only thrive. You're seeing it with the likes of, I look at Crystal Palace at the moment, I'm getting that same sort of vibe. Everybody's on board with what the manager's doing. Everybody's going in the same direction. The fans are seeing it. The fans are loving what they're seeing. And the spirit there and the feeling amongst everybody is positive. I love seeing that at a football club. I hate to see football clubs absolutely in deep trouble. Well, there is a couple of football clubs I'd love to see in deep trouble, rivals of mine, but no, this football club, great Midlands football club. I remember the days when they were back at Highfield Road. And I remember the players like Brian Kilcline and these sort of players. Classic Coventry. I remember watching them when I was 7. I think I was 7. I think they won the FA Cup against Spurs. Keith Houchin, header. John Sillett was the manager, I'm sure. I think the year after they went out in the third round to Sutton United, who I was sure they was non-league at the time. So that was the magic of the FA Cup. But to see a team like Coventry City, especially as they beat Tottenham, which absolutely delighted me, even as a 7-year-old, I was buzzing. Brilliant. To see them where they are now and on the cusp of the top division again after what they've been through, I think so pleasing as a neutral. I really do. I'm not one of these spiteful supporters who wishes everybody negative things. Not at all. I love to see clubs thriving. I really do. But people doubted whether Lampard himself could come in and, especially this job. I must admit, when Robbins went and Lampard was him, I'm thinking, oh, I know they were sitting 17th, but I thought Mark Robbins is a little bit of a hard act to follow. He's done a great job there over a number of years. He got them promotions and stuff. They was I think that was a bit turmoil when he took over. I did think this is a tough job. this one's going to be a toughie. But I think he was very clever. I think he look at the squad of players and think, you know what, I can develop those youngsters. I can really get something out of them. I can get a tune out of them. Harry has done it. Harry has done it. They are thriving. The supporters are buzzing. It's crazy. But they have had a lot of instability over the years. This is the constant worry I'd probably have as a Coventry fan. If any Coventry fans watch this, let me know. Is it a fault of, is this too good to be true? Does at any time can this just be pulled under us? Because I know in 2005 they moved into the Rico, it was called at the time, the Rico Arena. I've been there ground hopping. Sadly, I think you lost to Yeovil or something like that, 6-2 at home on a Sunday. Oh, lovely stadium, poor performance, and you've come a long way since then, trust me. But you know, moved into the stadium there, but they never owned it. It was literally tenants renting it. But now, this year, they've finally purchased the stadium and it belongs to them now. So long-term stability is such a different story now from that, just that alone. I think even they spent a season in between 2005 and 2025 currently. I think they spent a season using Sixfields, Northampton Town's ground, because they were homeless at the time. And they used St Andrews, Birmingham City, for 2 seasons. So 3 years they've been out of their own sort of comforts and played in other club stadiums. So that tells you just where this club have been. I think there's been times in those years when Coventry fans have probably thought, are we going to have a club this time next year? Are we going to have anyone to go and watch? It must have been a stressful time as a football supporter, because as much as people do make me laugh when they say, it's only a game, it's only a football club. Trust me, when you're a fan of a football club, that football club is just part of you. You become part of it. And everything, every little move that it makes, every negative that happens over that club, you feel it inside. I think these Coventry fans, they must have been through some absolute hell over the years. But yeah, I can only wish them well. And I'll tell you what, last word I've got to say, Lampard, he's surprised me, massively surprised me. I think he's always been a good coach, but I've never seen him as a massive leader of men managerially. But here I can see it. I can see the total respect of that squad of players towards him. I don't think they're in awe of him, but I think they totally respect and totally get everything that he's trying to get out of them. And they're all on board. They're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Long may it continue. But yeah, good luck to them. I hope they get promoted. Have a good one. Take care.